Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm always looking for ideas and things to inspire me and things that I enjoy. Now, I've been doing some artist trading cards in a group that I belong to for quite a little while now, and we do swaps, which I think is really lovely. And so I was sort of looking around for ideas and things like that, and I came across something called, which seems to have sort of started about a year ago. There's lots and lots and lots of people that are doing it, so it's very difficult to sort of give credit, but there's somebody called Crafty Hodges who seemed to sort of was the oldest one that I could find on this, which was about a year ago, and they're called Artist Trading Coins. Now, what are artist trading cards? Well, they originated by people wanting to display their art in little tiny formats. So rather than doing whole cards in little formats, almost like business card sizes that they would sort of hand out. They're not to be sold, they're to be swapped and traded. So the artist trading coins came out more recently, and they have to be made, there's very little rules, they have to be made with a 2.5-inch circle. So fairly heavy cardstock, and you tend to make one of them, and then put two together to give a little bit of stability. So I've been playing around this morning just with a few to sort of see what I could come up with, and I've done this little one which has got sort of, butterflies on. Now I have gone over the top of this with some PVA glue to just make it a little bit more stable, but I'm not hugely happy with it. But there's sort of a little bluey butterfly one. Here's an eclipse one that I've done with sun. I don't know whether you can see. Let me stand this up. Yes, you can just sort of see the eclipse coming through. And again, I PVA glued that one, so very different. This one I use the lovely birds, and I've put a little hello and I've put a little friend on it. This one I did with the designer series paper, and I actually put some clear adhesive over the top. Again, I'm not hugely happy with it. I think I would probably leave them completely blank without anything on them, but I thought that I would come on and show you. I'm just going to make I don't know how many, a few or a couple, and just sort of show you the idea of it, because I thought it would be quite fun to maybe start doing a bit of a swap. I'm very happy to make some and send them out to anybody that happens to want to swap with me. So I will put a link through across to my blog, which will give me will give you all the details of my address and all of those things. And if you want to swap with me, if you want to send me, as I say, some of these lovely little artist trading coins, then I'm very happy to swap with you. And I thought that maybe once a month we could do a theme and get some swaps going, because I've got subscribers now right the way around the world, and I thought it would be quite fun to do something which was fun, which was easy, which isn't going to cost a huge amount, and do some swaps. So what you need to do on the back of each one of these is, now these are circular, these are the ones that I do for the artist trading cards, the square ones, and if you put just on the back of there, now you can handwrite it, or you can, do it on your computer and make it sort of small enough. You need to put that it is an artist trading coin, not cards, created by, and put your name. Then you need to put, if there's any sort of who you go by. So I'm Amethyst Star Crafting, but whoever you go by. And then put the title of what you're going to call it, the date, and the card number. So, for example, I'm making a few here. So this would be 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4 and 4 of 4. And to start off with, I'm not going to have any theme at all. It is whatever you want to do, to just have a go at making them. And if you want to swap with me, I'd be more than happy to do so. So let's have a look and see what we can do with some of these. I'm just going to literally have a play around and see what I can create. So I've got a sponge dauber here. Let's see what colour I've got on here. I've got sort of a bit of a muddy colour on here, but I'm going to start with a bit of Flirty Flamingo, I think, and I'm just going to sponge some Flirty Flamingo all over this one. Again, there are no rules with artist trading cards or artist trading coins, but I thought the coins would be quite good because, as I say, they're not going to be hugely expensive to post around the world. So let's take that on there. I'm going to make it dark around the edge. And again, this is just playing around. I've not got any plan for this. I just thought I would just have a play with something and see what we can do. So that's that on there. Now I'm actually going to take, I've got a few of our masks. So I'm going to take a bit of a mask on here and just sponge through this to just get a little bit of texture and detail just down on the side here. I don't even know if this mask is clean, so it might come out in a bit of an extraordinary colour, but let's just have a look and see. Put that on there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of texture on there. Now I have got again little die cuts and bits and pieces that I've got, so I thought that that would look quite nice, just sort of straight over the top. Yeah, I think that'll work. Do I want to have anything more on there? I think I might stamp something. So I've got Enjoy Life. That just happens to be the stamp set that I've got in front of me. And I've got, what are we going to have out of this one? There's this tiny little piece on here, which is this little piece here. So I think I'll use that piece. And again, I'm trying to keep the sort of the pink theme. So let's just put that on there, because as I say, the idea of them is that they're built up with lots of little textures and things. Yes, that's quite pretty, and I might actually bring it across over the top of these. So just some little bits down on here, different levels. Okay, so that's another little bit of sort of texture on there. I shall leave that out for the moment. Now I do want to make this a little bit dark around the edge, because I want this as dark as I can get. It's not quite as dark as I want, so as I say, with a bit of a sponge, I'm just going to take that round on there. And again, you know, use your creativity, use whatever you want to do. Now, if I put that butterfly over the top there, that I think will work quite well. So let's just take a little bit of glue on here. I always use wet glue, as you know, so I'm just going to pop this little bit on here. Make sure that I've glued all the bits that I need to. I was just trying to move my finger out of the way to get the glue on, and I managed to throw it everywhere. So let's just get a little bit of glue down on here. But yes, I thought it might be quite fun. As I say, I've got it's lovely to have so many of you right the way across the world. I've got subscribers, as I say, probably all the way around the world. America, Canada, Australia, Europe, and as I say, it's lovely, and I thought that it would be quite fun to just you know, share a bit of a swap thing with each other. Okay, so that's quite a a fun little one on there. So let me, I'm going to put it on, as I say, another one just to give it a bit of stability. So again, make sure you've glued right the way sort of round the edges of this. It's quite easy to do it because it's circular. Now, I have seen some people who do it in a 3x3 square to start off with, and then die cut out in the circle, so that you work on a square rather than a circle if you find it difficult to work on circles. But I don't find it too bad, actually. I quite enjoy working on circles. So now we've got that glued on there. That's given us that little bit more stability. And then we need to go round the edges again, because obviously the piece that you've just put on at the back, you want to just go around there. And again, obviously, the more I'm doing it, the more I'm getting a bit of colour coming through on here. So that, I think, will work as a beginning idea for one, like that. And what I would probably do is cut out some tiny little words. On these ones, I just took, and the praiseworthy prose has some lovely little words. So I've got on this one, closeness, merriment and affection. But I'll probably put just a little tiny bit of word on there. But I'm not going to put anything on it at the moment. But again, totally different colour tones, totally different thing, and quite a pretty little one like that. So that's one. Now let me have a look at doing something else. I took a couple of bits of the let's turn that over. Ooh, I've got all sorts of bits of rubbishy stuff on here. Let's do it on this side for a minute. These are just pieces of copy paper that I use as scratch to keep my work surface. I've just cut, these were tiny little pieces that were from the edge of the designer series paper for the birds, and I thought that just something like that might look quite pretty. But I want to do some background on there. So what other sets have I got about? I'm going to get something, because I think something might work on here. Give me 2 seconds, because I want Beauty Abounds. Where is it? Beauty Abounds. Yeah, I think I might take Beauty Abounds on this one, because again, it's using all the things you want. You want to have sort of a bit of texture and stuff like that going on. So I'm going to take this, I want this piece to probably go right up in the centre, I think. So let's take this on this size block, because I'm not sure how it's going to go. I think sort of a little bit centrally on this, and I want something fairly neutral. So let's take some smoky slate. I should just be able to get that out without knocking my lights and everything, because that will tone in with the greys and things on there. So I'm just going to take some of that and then put that right down the centre like that. Okay, that looks all right. I am going to have to clean some of these pieces up, because otherwise I'm going to have too many stamp sets out on my desk, and I don't want it all to get confused. And as I say, all of these things, you don't have to do the coins or anything like that with them. If you just want to use them as card ideas, then obviously, you know, there are a few card ideas that you can do as well. But I thought it just might be fun to do something that was a little bit different. Now, we've got 2 different sort of splodges in here. So do I want circular parts? No, I think I'm just going to use the speckled part, because then that will add something to the side. But I wanted them to look all slightly different. So this, I'm just going to put that down like that on the side, and then we'll keep the, will I get that in over there? Yes, just a little bit like that. Okay, so that's got that there and there, and then the birds are going to go on top, and I think I'm just going to use, I might have to get another piece of sponge out. I haven't got a lot of bits on my desk at the moment. You never know it. My desk is always, a crafter's desk is never tidy. I'm always sitting here working, doing ideas and things that I think might work. And again, all of these are from, or everything that I'm going to do is using Stampin' Up supplies, because that's what I use, that's what I enjoy. And I think that, as I say, Stampin' Up supplies will work very well with these. So I'm just going to try and find a sponge dauber that hasn't got too much of any colour on. Let's see what... That's fine, that's a clear one. So before I go any further, because I don't want the birds to get covered, I'm just going to go round the outside of here. This will take a little bit longer than a sponge, but at least this is a clean one. So I'm just going to go around the side of this. But you can use, there are so many different ideas. I really quite liked, while I'm doing this, I really quite like this one, which is literally just using the lovely Free as a Bird and just colouring it in. So if you think of all the images that we've got, there's the lovely horses, there's the, you know, you can use the amusing cows that are in there, anything that you really fancy. But as I say, I love the idea that these are for swaps. These are for something that you can have. In fact, they would make, as we're all going to be doing them with whatever supplies we've got. And as I say, you know, it doesn't have to be any particular brand or style. I obviously, you know, use Stampin' Up, but I know that some of you have maybe started and have other supplies and things in there. I don't mind at all, but I really just want to have, I enjoy collecting things. I've always been a bit of a collector of things, and I really like the idea of collecting you know, little things that you can put, that they don't take up much space. And I think that that's what attracts me to them. So I'm going to put these little birds on here. Yes, that's going to look quite nice, actually. So let me just take some wet glue on here and just put this one on. And as I say, these are just little ideas for you if you want to take part. And obviously, as soon as somebody sends me a swap, I will send a swap back to them. So, you know, please put your details on there so I can do it. If you're in the UK, the swaps will go out quicker because it won't take as long. If you're in Australia, it might take a couple of weeks, but I thought that maybe once a month as a video I could do I could put what people have sent up, and we can carry on maybe with a once a month theme. Would be quite nice. You know, we're coming up to, we're in summer at the moment, but we've got you know, autumn and winter. We've got Christmas. We can have birthdays, we can have any celebrations. We could do a Halloween one, which might be quite fun. And the nice thing is that, as any trading cards, you start building a collection. And it's quite nice to then look back and go, oh, I've got one from 3 years ago from a lady in Australia, and I think it's quite fun. I love the idea of sharing our crafting passion. Now I'm going to put that. Did I want him at that? Probably want him a little bit. Don't want them quite looking at each other. I want them to be a bit more sort of random. So let's take this one. That's better. Want that one down a bit. Now obviously these pieces have just come off the side here, but that's fine because we can turn it over and just trim off the bits that have come over. So like that. And then obviously on this bit it's come over a bit, so I can just trim that off. Hope that's not his beak, but you never know. No, it's not, it's just his tail. That's fine. So you've then got that on there, which I think is quite pretty. I'm going to just add a little bit more of the grey in a minute. I need to put it onto a back. Now, obviously, when you cut them out, you get sort of a good side and the reverse side. So what I'm doing is I'm putting one against the other, so that then you get it smooth on both sides, which is quite good. So let me just put some glue around the side of this one. Like this, and then we can put that one on here like that, and just sort of squash it in well on the sides. So you've got it nice and squashed. And then let's get this back in again, because I want a little bit more darkness coming round on here, and obviously I want these side pieces to be quite dark as well, so I'm just going to take it round. But I quite enjoy the sort of textured side of it. And again, you know, we have some beautiful line drawings. You could do some lovely line drawings and you know, colour them in how you want. And as I say, they are little works of art which I think are lovely. So just need to get that just coming down over the edge a little bit. Now, the other thing that you can do is, if you find that your edges are, just taking that down where I've put it on there so it's not quite so stark, and that little bit on the tail. If you find that your edges are a little bit too sort of uniform, you can take a piece of sandpaper, piece of emery board. I've always got little bits of sandpaper because I'm always doing DIY bits around the house, and if you take it at sort of a 45-degree angle and just brush it down and smooth it off, you then get a more of a rounded sort of shape. So where we are on this one, you take the top layer off just a tiny bit, and then you can, hope it's not making too much noise on the video, scratching away with this sandpaper. An emery board would be absolutely fine. You know, nail file, anything that will just take the sides down and then take sort of the excess off. You then have a smoother corner. And then if you take the ink again, so we use smoky slate, and just take that round like that. You can put that on like that. And again, I will put some little words on there. Haven't decided what. But I will search through. But I actually quite like that one. I think that's come out quite prettily. So yeah, so I will put. Let me just get rid of that little bit of scratching stuff on there. I will put, as I say, some little words. I quite like, you know, having just a tiny little word, you know, friend or I don't know what. But let's, you can see on these two, they are completely and totally different. Very sort of, you know, one's very bright and busy, other one's more sort of subtle. Then you've got the ones that I've already done. Let me take them off of here so you can actually see it without that scrappy bit of paper. So these are the two that we've just done. This is the one with the bird. So there's quite a bit of a bird theme going on, but I just happen to have those scraps of paper about. There's that one, which this was just taken with tiny weeny little bits of scrap that I had over, literally, and all I did was do them across this way and then turned around and across that way, and yeah, that's using up tiny scraps. And then this one, as I say, with the handwritten prose, the dies, which are absolutely lovely. I've just done that as the eclipse one, which again is quite a sunny one. And then there's this little one which has just got some little part of these ones, little butterfly cutouts. So, you know, they're only sort of 2 bits that I've got, but you can see that they are, put them in a bit of an order. We'll butterflies together. Let's put that one up there and that one down there. Right. You can see that they are all very different in colours. But I think it's quite fun. So I hope you'll think it's a good idea. I hope you'll have a go and join in with me, because as I say, it would be quite fun to do some swaps and get to know some of you from all the way around the world. And as I say, I will send you 3 swaps for every 3 swaps you send me. I think maybe sending 3 might be a good idea, but you can send 2, you can send 1. Whatever you send to me, I will send back. So hopefully we'll have some fun with that. Thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.